every device. I chose this project because I thought that this has some real-world applications. For example, if someone has a shoulder injury, then they can put this on and it'll accurately tell them if they're doing the exercises correctly or not. A brief overview before I jump into my demo. I trained a machine learning model, I put it on my Arduino Nano, I built the box, put the Nano in the box, and now I have a completely wireless model with only a battery needed to run this thing. So now for my demo. Right now it is showing a label and an accuracy. I have 4 classes: idle, which is just regular movement, lateral raises, arm circles, and full bounds. I'll quickly run through each of them. So it takes about 3 seconds for the model to actually print an accurate prediction. So how I coded this OLED was, first I found out the highest prediction that the model was outputting, and then I printed that along with the label onto the OLED. So now I'll quickly run through these exercises. So if I do a couple seconds of lateral raises, then eventually it will print out lateral with the percentage on the screen. I can do the same for the other movements. While I do this, I'll talk about how my Nano is using both accelerometer and gyro data to make this more accurate. So the last movement that I have is arm circles. And basically what I've done is I actually have to re-record my data multiple times to have an accurate model, because when I was, sorry.
Oh, my bad.
So I'll do arm circles again. But basically, it prints out the label and the accuracy on the OLED. So I faced 3 major challenges here at BlueStamps. The first one was me being overexcited. After I finished a step, I would immediately jump into the next without actually understanding what I was doing. And that caused me to restart and sometimes lose progress. For example, I had to re-record my data on 5 separate occasions just because I was doing it wrong. The second major challenge that I had was with the development and the setup. Sometimes the tutorials were inaccurate, and this was challenging, but eventually I got everything set up. And the third major challenge was with the CAD. This is actually my second version of this box. In the first version, I did not account for tolerance, which is basically where you make all the dimensions slightly smaller to account for the 3D printer's error. So in the first box, I came out, it printed, and I didn't account for tolerance, so everything was not fitting. So I made the second box, I made everything more concise, I accounted for tolerance, and things fit smoothly. One thing that I also did not say at the start was I actually have a tiny switch where you can turn on and off the OLED. So what's next? I've already started researching some of my modifications, and what I want to do is I want to connect my Arduino Nano to my computer via Bluetooth. This way I can send packages of data to my computer where I can make a web page and integrate AI with that, and I can give live suggestions on the spot. I've learned a lot here at BlueStamps, but one thing that I'm definitely going to take along with me is machine learning. As I said earlier, I re-recorded my data on 5 separate occasions, and on each of these occasions, I actually learned more about machine learning each time. So over here, you can see some hyperparameters that I've done, and these hyperparameters are just settings that are in each machine learning model, and you can tweak them to make your accuracy higher. So this is my final accuracy, about 99%. I started with, 30%, and eventually I worked it up. And over here, you can see on my final try, I recorded 9 minutes of data, and I recorded 9 minutes of data, and you can see the sample length is about 3 seconds. So I have recorded almost like 300 data samples at a time. So over here, this is my train data, which is seen data, but over here is the test data, unseen data. And this is the accuracy that you're really looking for, because if on train data, your model can actually memorize the data, and your test accuracy will be really low. But if the test accuracy and the train accuracy are good, that means you have a pretty good model. So just before I wrap up, I want to thank my instructors for helping me a lot and my parents for making this possible. Thank you.